One of the lesser known features when using the crop tool is its ability to add additional canvas area around your image. But before we start, I'm going to tap the C to select the crop tool, and then I'm going to right click on the icon for the crop tool or control click on Mac and choose to reset the tool to make sure that we all have the same options. Then I'll tap escape in order to remove the crop marquee, but I still have the crop tool. Then I'm going to drag out a crop in the image area. But you'll notice when I get to the lower right, I'm actually limited by the canvas area. Well, I'm limited until I release my cursor and set down the first crop. So I'm going to set this in the upper left and the lower right, not beyond the canvas to begin with. And then I'll use Command minus in order to zoom out. Then, in order to add canvas size, I'm going to hold down the Option key here as I start dragging, and I'll also add the Shift key in order to constrain the proportion as well as drag out from the center. But the problem is if we look at my layers panel, when I apply this crop, because I was on a background layer to begin with, it's just going to add a white border. Yours might add a different color border. It all depends on what your background color is. Well, that's not very flexible. What I would rather have it do is just add transparency. So I'll use the keyboard shortcut Command Z on Mac or Control Z on Windows. And this time, before I start cropping the image, I'm going to convert the background into a layer by clicking on the lock icon. Once it's a layer and I click anywhere in my image in order to set down the crop, this time when I use the Option and the Shift key or the Alt and Shift key on Windows and drag out in order to add canvas area, we can see a checkerboard here, and that checkerboard designates transparency in Photoshop. So this time when I click on the check mark, we've actually added transparent canvas to the image area. Now, if we want to be more specific, we can undo that by using Command Z. I'm only going to undo the crop. I'm not going to undo the fact that I took the background layer to a layer. And then I'll choose under the Image menu, Canvas Size. In the Canvas Size dialog box, I can add a number of pixels or inches or whatever unit of measurement I want to the width and height. Or I can add a relative amount. So let's say, for example, I just want to add 1 inch around the entire image. If I choose relative, then I'll type in 2 for the width as well as 2 for the height, because it's going to add 1 inch on either side. Then I can tell it where I want to position the original image within the canvas that I'm building out. And in this case, I might actually add 3 for my height, just to add a little bit more at the bottom. So when I click OK and we zoom out using Command 0 on Mac or Control 0 on Windows, we can see that Photoshop has built out that canvas. And if I select the Move tool, I can actually reposition this image anywhere that I would like within that canvas. If I wanted to fill the background with another color, I could choose Layer and then New Fill Layer, Solid Color. I'll click OK. And then I can pick a color, maybe a dark gray, and click OK. But that layer appears on top of the photograph in the Layers panel. So to change the stacking order, I'll click on the Color Fill layer and drag it down below Layer 0. So now we've got that gray background. The fabulous thing about using a Color Fill layer is that if I don't like that color, I can double click on it in order to choose a different color. So in order to add some canvas to an image in a more free-form manner, you can try dragging beyond the image using the crop tool, but for more specific size options, be sure to check out the Canvas Size command.